this market is moved purely by highs and lows, right? So when we speak about highs, we speak about resistance. When we speak about lows, we speak about support. So these are very important. Now that I'm going to the charts, I've already removed him and I blocked him from my life. He's not gonna see my Instagram ever again, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna close off the comments now, turn off commenting, and let me share my screen, right? So this is what we have over here, right? So let me just do this. Good. So this is from the monthly's perspective, right? So I did mention that the market is moved by the highs and lows, and I did say that when you speak of the market highs, you speak of resistance, market lows, you speak of support. So right now, what we do have is that the market created a high over there, right? So this was the highest point the market created, and this was the lowest point the market created. This is off of the monthly time frame. So right now, the market is stuck between these two ranges. So that's a fact that we can clearly see over here. But even when the market is stuck on that high and that low, we can also clearly see that the market is also like somehow like sort of like stuck up in this sideways movement. Why am I saying this is a sideways movement? Like if you look at the past couple of months, right? So this has been from the month of October. This was November, December, January, February, March, April, May. And from the month of December, the market has been ranging around here. So what I'm going to be marking right now is this high from the month of December and this low from the month of December. I think this is the easiest way to trade, guys. Like it can never get easier than this, right? So it can never get easier than this. So for me, what I can see is that this is like an inside bar formation. So you can go check what an inside bar formation is. The market is trapped between these two ranges. The market is trapped within the range of that high and that low. So this is the easiest way and approach that I do personally use whenever I do trade. So we've got the market being trapped in this area and in this range. And even within that range, there's now levels of resistance and support that are obviously influencing the market to not be pushed any further. And one of the levels and zones that I can clearly spot with my naked eye is that area over there, that we do have that level of resistance that obviously is a significant area. And we do have some significant support level over there. But I'm going to turn a blind eye on that level and area for now, because we can clearly see that the market is still sort of like, pushing towards the lows. So we can see, the market has formed that high over there, came back to this low. And then from that level, it fails to break past that high. And that's off of the monthly time frame. Now going down to the weekly, I think we can get like a bit more information on the weekly. And when we do drop down on the weekly time frame, now the weekly is even now giving us slightly more information and knowledge. Now, when we look at the weekly time frame, right, hypothetically speaking, we would expect that the market would come and reject off of these highs, same way the market is rejecting off of the lows. And right now, what we can see is that the market is now starting to like narrow down to like a slightly lower high. And obviously, this high is somewhat equivalent to that previous high price. So for me, now the market is like now sort of like squeezing to the downside. So from what I'm seeing with my eyes, I can probably say that the market is like, squeezing to the downside. There is a high price that was printed that the market is unable to break, which is obviously that area that I did mark out with that orange level that I just drew now. So this is not like something that you also want to like pay attention to when you are now analyzing. And I did say like this is like the easiest approach that you do want to use. So what I would obviously even say right now is that you could even mark this out and say this is like your high from December, this is your low from December, and the market hasn't broken out of that December high and low. It's just been ranging around that level. And even amongst and within that December's high and low, the market created this high, and this high has been a very strong high. And you can see this is from the weekly. I mean, this week came, and then from there we saw a throbbing descending move to the downside, and again it came back there. We can see the first week fell to break, second week, third week, fourth week, so this is quite a strong level. From there we saw a major candlestick to the downside, came again to this December's low, faked below that level, came back above, and again we failed to break past that high. And again we can now tell that because we failed to break past that level, the next target is obviously there. So which is why then we've been saying that USDT has to sell off of these highs at least to that low again. So when we do get to this low, we may see like a further break into the downside. The reason I'm saying that is because we can see how the market attempted to break past that level and failed, and then came back again to gather strength on that level to maybe come and break past that level. But again, you can see how then the market is creating like a high that is now seemingly lower than that previous high. So this is also like the first indication that the market is somehow creating momentum to eventually break to the downside. However, we're not going to assume that the market is going to break past that low, but we do know for sure that that low now becomes our target. Okay, so now before I move further, I'm gonna switch on the comments to maybe receive your questions or your whatever. If you guys have questions so far, before I move any further, do you guys follow? Do you guys think this is like the simplest way of trading? Do you think this is like the most realistic way of trading? I think this is like the simplest approach in trading. Like for me, this has been the simplest way. And obviously from here, then you have to look at other elements of being able to now find an entry towards the direction of the trend, right? So where you're seeing the market going, then you need to be able to identify an entry point that's going to help you be able to enter, towards the direction of where you will be trading to, So, bro, your approach is super. Never thought of such an approach. I'll definitely pray. Is this type of an? I don't understand. Where do you check the FANG for direction purposes? Bro, like you just read up the news, man. Like I'm personally not a fundamental trader, but I was just giving you that for background sakes. Okay, so that was just for background sakes. Can you please repeat what you said about the top 5 stocks, how they affect? So obviously what I did say is that with the FANG stocks, if they are positive, then obviously you expect a positive outlook in the markets. If they are negative, you expect a negative outlook in the markets. But also do consider that, from the general, trend, the market may move, they may give you a positive outlook to correct a specific, impulse that has been happening, or like to maybe give you a correction that has to give you like a general impulse towards the direction of the trend. So that's why I'm not like a big fundamental trader. I prefer to look at technicals, because technicals at the end of the day stay winning. So for me, I'm a technical trader and I prefer to trade technicals. So yeah, that's why I never like look much into fundamentals. So any questions, any comments, and then I can continue as you continue to share the live with your friends. Let's see. US30 failed that area 15th August. Dope. Yeah, man, it failed. You made it much more simple. Cool, man. Thank you. I'll definitely practice it, not pray. Oh, yeah. Seems like we're going to be having a bearish trend, bro, what you're saying. Yeah, 100%. That's what we're doing right now. Is there a footprint from the London to New York when trading? Bro, honestly, as you can see, I'm not like a session trader. I'll explain sessions, because I did say that you need to be able to find an entry. I'll explain sessions to you. I want to see how you take it down to, yeah, man, I'm coming. Yeah, you make it sound simple, but thanks for sharing the knowledge. Would you take those two rejections as a double top? I personally don't trade double tops and double bottoms. I trade market structure. Yeah, I don't use double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulders, and whatever. Yeah. Why does SA Brokers activate? I don't know, bro. How do you build your confluence? So what I've been doing right now is me building confluence, right? So this is me building confluence. So you'll see even as we continue right now. Since you started marking December high, what do you think of next December? That's too far, man. I don't know. Is this approach strictly for USD? This is practically how I analyze the markets in full. So after this approach or time frame, I'm gonna come to that. Trading or other analyzing is the problem psychology talk. Anyway, the simplistic form ever. Thank you, man. Simplest and best trading method away. Recession or what? No, bro. I don't know, man. Notice the Joe parents as a trader. Bro, I'm not too big on fundamentals, as I did say. Loving your breakdown, cool, man. Do you look at imbalance zone time frame? What I'm doing right now is exactly what I'm looking at. Okay, let me just continue, right? So as I did say, after that, so we're obviously now on the weekly time frame. Let me switch off the comments once more, and then I'll switch them on again when we are done with the charts. So as I did say, so right now this is obviously off of the weekly time frame, so I can see that obviously now our target is there. So what I'm gonna do now is to at least try and identify levels of entry. So what do I then do? I look for levels and zones of sensitivity in the market. So obviously the market will always give me hints, like constantly. So what I'll be doing, I'll be looking at zones like these to maybe mark out. The reason why I marked out this zone, I will tell you just now. So let me just say this is the daily breakouts, so I can have a solid line. So the reason why I'm marking out this zone is because I can see prior to the market dropping out of this level, right? So we've had the market pushing to this level, pulling back, pushing to this level, pulling back. So there was a lot of like rejection around this area, and you can see the magnitude of the candle that was used to break past this level. So I mean, there's a reason why the market couldn't break past this level for like a period of 3 weeks. So this is like a very strong level. So we can see how then the one candlestick then breaks out of this level, and then the next weeks come to tap that same level and region to drop further. And even in the future now, you can see the same zone is now the same zone that rejects, the same zone that rejects, and this is now the same zone that was broken last week. So this is now like a new weekly candle that closed below that zone. So obviously below that zone means we're going down. Above that zone means we're still going to play around that area. So we're still going to play between that blue area and that orange area. The same thing that happened here. So above that level, it's orange and blue. Below that level, it's that blue and that black, right? So that's the same thing even here. Above that blue, that's going to be that blue and that orange. Below that blue, that's going to be the blue and that black. So that's the same thing that happens, right? So upon every breakout, there has to be a retest. Now coming down to a smaller time frame, now this is now down to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, right? So the daily now becomes now a point of interest for us to now be able to find entries around that particular zone. So on the daily time frame, what we can do is to then modify and try and find, like a solid zone. So this zone for me, actually, I'm not going to modify even on the daily because it somewhat makes sense for me because I can see how then the market came around this level, tap, and then again, this was a clean retest for that sell to the downside. And again, we can see that little bit of like traffic that happened over there to eventually break out, go to that level, came back again, went up and then drops down again, whatever. So you can see like this retest was like a retest that almost came to the zone. So I mean, I would have loved to see the market coming back to that level. However, the market didn't test that level. Why did it not test that level? There's other psychological zones, that the market was using. So if you are someone that is like, that is that has traded for a while, you would understand that the market has psychological levels and zones that you could obviously use. So right now we've got like median areas, like these zones, like, you know, that zone over there that becomes that same zone, which was hypothetically the same area. So let's see if this zone makes sense. So let's see if we draw this zone and we see if this zone makes sense. So like somewhat makes sense, but somewhat doesn't. Like for me, I would have kept this as like a psychological area to maybe try and observe what happens there, right? And this somehow happens to be the same area. However, this is how I would have personally dealt with this. So this is on the daily time frame, right? So even on the daily, we can see that, okay, this market is literally sinking. And again, another thing on the daily that I'm seeing, for the guys that are taught by me and who know exactly what I do use, I'm a huge fan of the fib, and you know, I did see a rejection upon 61.8, and obviously that negative 27 extension is exactly on that black area that we're looking at. So the first entry would have been there, like on that 61.8%, targeting that 38.2. So for me, we haven't reached TP, and if we haven't reached TP, anything that happens in between that move towards my TP will be a potential entry point for me. So I would have still been looking for you know, entry points going down to my take profit. So what then I would have done, so this is on the daily, so I would have obviously dropped down to the H4 again. So on the H4, the structure then becomes a whole lot more clearer. So on the H4, what we do see now is that we do see like a clear downtrending market. So the first thing that we did see on the H4, personally, what I did see was that we did have this zone and level of interest. This is a very clear resistance point. So we see that first, second, and third touch in the market drops from that level, right? So this was pretty clear. So this was a very clear entry point. So you would have gotten an entry there. Like there's no ways like you would have missed that entry, right? So for the pattern traders, they would have said this is a triple top pattern. But for me, that was obviously like a structural high that kept holding throughout, you know. So and then again, what we did see over here is that we did have another psychological area that was printed over there. So that would have been a very, very, very interesting entry point for me. So that would have been the zone that I would have entered at. Like this would have been my entry point, to be quite honest. And again, you're more than allowed to use your fibs on multiple time frames. And again, that was also like another entry point. So had you missed this entry point here, I think you would have been able to catch it there exactly on that 61.8. And you can see the first target just got hit now, which explains this pullback. But obviously, we do know that overall we're still going down to that general take profit. So that's basically what I do see happening in this market on US 30. So ideally for the week, I am looking at this price point. Let me just show you my target. So yeah, I think this can even happen tomorrow, like 32,400. So that's what I'm looking at for my first target, 32,400. And after that, then we can maybe see where the market leads us, and we can see whether we can see like, you know, further continuation to the downside or not. But that's exactly what I'm looking at, and that's how I would have looked at this market. And that's just about it. I hope you guys took a thing or two from how I look at the markets, and I hope you guys did enjoy this little lecture that I just gave you guys. Haven't done this in a minute, but yeah, I hope you guys learned a thing or two. And obviously do understand that you cannot be selling right now, mainly because the market is sitting at a very strong level of support. So you wouldn't want to sell right now because the market is obviously at a very strong level of support. And with that being said, I'm closing this session. Drops mic, not mics. I'm dropping the mic. So that's exactly what I do see for this particular market. That's the easiest approach that I would obviously use whenever I'm analyzing. So that's like literally the easiest approach that I'd use to analyze the markets. So drop a comment down below. Let me know if you did, learn a thing or two. And yeah, let's see what people have to say. Let's see what the people have to say. Are you using pure price action? 100%. Your analysis is killer. I never thought of such. It's all new to me. Thanks, man. Injalo doctor. What are the data points of your moving averages? I didn't speak about moving averages today. I just spoke about like pure price action, price movements, and what you can obviously look at when you're analyzing. And this is literally like the easiest way. Clean session as always. My brother Langelihle Mfowethu, bro. Well, thanks. This is my first time joining your live and see you make analysis and see you make analysis. Thanks, aware, bro. Salute, man. Gold melting. I haven't looked at gold, bro. Dope analysis. So you enter trades on H4. I don't really execute on H4. I execute on smaller time frames. But obviously, like my bias is purely based on like the higher time frames. Yeah. Do you have a YouTube channel? Yeah, man. Just search Dr. Martin. You'll find it there. You'll find it there. Learned a lot, Big G. You're welcome. I see the market dropping away. Thank God, let's chop money. Thank you. I see you zones instead of trend lines and it's proper. Yeah, I don't use trend lines at all. Get well soon, doctor. Hope you've seen a doctor though. Yeah, man, that sounds special. Doctor, hope you've seen a doctor. Yeah, man. I've learned a lot from you. I'm always open to more.